What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. Your host here, Elijah, and we are here today on April 11th, a Saturday. I don't know the last time I've done an episode on a Saturday. Normally we do them like and beginning of the week or like during the week towards the end, like Thursday or Friday. But honestly, I don't think I've done a Saturday one in a while. I think I did some last year. But anyway, got plenty to talk about. I know the episode earlier this week was kind of scatterbrained. It was such a crazy week that I was just like, I got to get an episode out. I had some stuff on my head that I want to talk about. I didn't actually have a formal like agenda like I normally do. So apologize if that episode was a little scatterbrained, but we move on. Got plenty to talk about today. And we're going to have to start it off with talking about the Yankees. We're going to talk about the Pirates. We're going to talk about the Blue Jays, who continue to cry and complain about Ohtani because I'm assuming they're still just salty that he didn't go play for him, and plenty more. But let's start it off. Let's get going. Yeah, so honestly, I'm kind of cutting it close. I wanted to talk about them last night. To be honest, I wanted to do an episode last night, but I got sidetracked, and then we ended up just doing a bunch of other stuff, so I didn't find the time because yesterday I was pretty pissed. Honestly, I've been pretty upset with the Yankees for the last, I guess, since Tuesday. Honestly, since Tuesday. If you're a Yankee fan, you know what I'm talking about. It's been all over. I mean, but again, before we get into that, right? So I have a segment here that we're going to talk about called I called it "Time to Panic." I'm sure that's a term that we've been using quite a bit for quite a few teams, and I've talked about the Red Sox, and I think it's almost time to hit the panic button for Boston. Here's the thing: a lot of people are like, "Why are we panicking? Why are we freaking out?" It's early. That's what you keep hearing everyone say. It's early. They'll eventually get going. And okay, I get it. Sure. I agree with you, actually. It's early. We are now today's April 11th. The season started on March 18th. So we're nearing a month. We're about a week away from a month that we've been playing, about 4 weeks. And I know that it takes a little bit longer for guys to find a rhythm, to kind of get into their groove, to really lock in, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit easier for pitchers because they've been pitching. It's a little bit different. But for hitters, I think it takes a little bit more time. I'm going to be honest. But for the Yankees, this seems a little bit more than just it's too early. And I'm just, from what I've seen, right? So let's go back here. So I have the schedule pulled up for the Yankees. So they played their home opener last week on Friday, the 3rd, against the Marlins. They opened with the Marlins at home after playing away on the West Coast, playing Seattle and the Giants, where they opened the season with. They had the Marlins at home. They took 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. They lost 2 of 3 to the Athletics. To the Athletics. And you're the Yankees. You don't lose to the Athletics. And I get it. Believe me, I'm all about it. I think the Athletics are a lot better than they used to be. They're no slouch by any means. You know, they've got Jacob Wilson, Soderstrom, Rooker, who is on the IL after a weird swing on, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. You know, I think I said Jacob Wilson already. You know, they got quite a few guys. Luis Severino is a great pitcher for them. They got some dudes. There's no slouch in the Athletics anymore. But at the same time, you expect the Yankees to win those ball games all the way around. Well, they took the game on Tuesday, the 7th. They won that game. Although they did lose the last game against the Marlins, which their bats looked flat that game as well. They just looked flat all the way around that game. That was a terrible game. Almost get no hit before we get there. They lose on Wednesday, right? So on Wednesday, let me pull up this box score here. So on Wednesday, they scored 2 runs in the first inning. They scored 2 runs on the first and then didn't score the rest of the game. In fact, I don't know if they got a hit the rest of that game. I'm going to be honest. It was just dead, flat, nothing. It was bad. It was not good. We got the box here. I think so. They had 4 hits. 1 was Grisham, 1 was Judge, 1 was Bellinger, and then 1 was Ahmed Rosario, who's been playing third base. Yeah. So that was on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, they got no hit into the 6th. Yeah. No hit into the 6th. The only hit, they got 1 hit that game, and that 1 hit that came through was Rice, and it was like a baby base hit through the through the 5-4 hole. Yeah, their offense has been very, very dead. That's the best way I can put it. It's been dead. And then last night again, a lot of these guys just look lost at the plate. They look taking bad at bats, just weak contact. Like yesterday, I think Rice got a hit in a pinch hit situation for Goldschmidt. Judge got a hit in the first inning. Then Rosario got a hit. One of them, I think one of them was graded a hit in the first inning, though he hit a ball out to Chandler Simpson and left. Chandler Simpson tried to do this weird like slide thing. I don't really know what he was doing, and hopped right over him, went all the way to the wall, cleared the bases, and those were the 2 runs that they scored in the first, and then they didn't score another one till the 8th. But by that point, it was too late. But the bats have just been dead. Now, like I said earlier, is it too early? Are we still early? Yes, I think it's inevitable that a lot of these guys are going to start hitting. It's just the quality of that bat now for almost a week is kind of weird. Normally, you see teams start off hot or they start off cold and kind of go into it. The Yankees, historically start off hot. They play well, they play good, and then they hit a lull like June, July. Again, normal. You kind of get a little bit of this fatigue setting in. The season's been played for a while. And I've just, for the last couple seasons, it's like you see the Yankees themselves hit the lull later on in the year. To start off like this is kind of weird. Another thing of note, Luis Gil made his debut yesterday. What's the thing? Let's look at his stat line. Where's the pitching stat line for Gil? So he threw 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 bomb. The bomb came in the first from, I think it was Caminero on an Oppo shot. No, it's Yandy Diaz. So what we see out of this, before we get into let's continue with the hitting, and then I'll get to my problems with the pitching. Because I think right now there's more to talk about on both sides, and I don't want to split my time, right? So let's talk about hitting. So first of all, I think there's a glaring issue with the shortstop position. That is one of the biggest holes the Yankees have right now. I know that people were like, Caballero's a better player than Volpe. Listen, Volpe's coming up, and I think from what I read that Volpe is going to eventually take the shortstop role again. They're going to give it to him. Personally, an unpopular opinion, call it whatever you want, I think that Volpe is the better player than Caballero. Everyone had, he got a Gold Glove a couple years ago, played really good ball. Last year, everyone's like, he's been a steady decline. Last year, he was hurt half the year and the injury was mismanaged to the fullest by the Yankees, and they threw him back out there, whether that was, Volpe pushing it, which you're supposed to have trainers and people there to keep them from doing it to themselves. You're supposed to have someone there to make sure that doesn't happen, right? Volpe's a better player. He was injured last year. I'm not going to count it against him. If we get back a healthy Volpe and it looks good, it is what it is. But the point is that when you have pretty much a big fat circle where you have a shortstop that's average defensively, but none of them are hitting, it's a problem. It's a big problem. I know that a lot of people wanted Caballero to take that spot, but Caballero as well has not played good at all. His defense is average. It's okay, but he's not hitting the ball well. They've been throwing McMahon over there. McMahon's been damn near, he's Casper at the plate. You haven't seen him at the plate at all. But let's look at this. So the 2 people who have been playing shortstop for the Yankees this year are Caballero and McMahon. So Caballero this year, again, I don't know what it is. I wasn't excited when they got him at the deadline. Nothing against the guy. I just didn't think that he was the guy that, maybe Cashman was expecting him to be, I guess. I know that there was kind of a lot of, he's what do you call it? And again, he can play a lot of different positions. He's kind of like that guy who's just average at a lot of different things. He's not going to be like an all-star, and he's not going to be putting up crazy numbers. He can kind of he's the definition of like, if you need me, we can slot him. That's why I see Jose Caballero. He's a 224 career hitter, 644 OPS. This year, he is 5 for 40. He's batting $1.25 with a 3.36 ERA. So, problem there. But with McMahon's been playing slotting third and playing a little bit of short, McMahon's not any better. I think, let me see if I can find this here. Man, I don't think McMahon. Well, this is last night, so McMahon didn't play, but I bet you I can find him over here. Let's see here. McMahon. Yeah, so McMahon played short on Wednesday or Thursday. McMahon has had a really bad year. And it's sad because, like, McMahon, like, here's the thing. I'd rather have McMahon than Caballero. Hot take, bad take, whatever. You know, whatever you think. I feel like right now it doesn't really matter. Both are bad. McMahon's 2 for 29. He's batting 69, below 100. But he's got a 319 OPS. But here's the thing. McMahon's never been in his entire career in Colorado. He's never been this power hitter guy. He's never been the guy that's going to go and hit, 30 home runs a year. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to go out and just be, having 2 for 4, 3 for, 1 for 3. He's not going to be having these great games. He's going to have games where he's over because he's a defensive specialist. He's a great defender. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't. When you see McMahon, people are like, he's not going to hit the ball. But he works counts. So that's still value. His OPS career-wise is 735, which is no slouch for someone who bats 237. He works a lot of counts. So even in games that I've seen where he struggles to get the hit, there's been moments and big moments where he's drawn a walk or he's worked in that bat. That still counts as valuable. Caballero just going there and just whiffing. He's just swinging, and I don't know what the hell. Like, he's got this like weird scrappy mentality. Like, I'm going to bunt or I'm going to do this weird. I don't know. I've yet to sit and watch a game with Jose Caballero and kind of understand his approach because I don't think there is one. It's just really strange. So when it comes to those two guys, I'd much rather have McMahon playing short until Volpe comes back and having Ahmed Rosario playing third because Rosario just keeps hitting the ball really well. It's hard to take him out of the lineup. So that's the glaring issue right now. The biggest hole the Yankees have is 100% the shortstop position. Offensively and defensively, it's bad. So that's one problem with the Yankees, but out of many. But let's look at some averages here. Let's look at some averages here. So right now, Grisham, who's been a guy that's so hot and cold with the Yankees, we've seen it. He's batting $167, not good. But again, 612 OPS, so he's still getting on base. Walked twice. This was on Thursday. Let's look at the game yesterday. More recent. Yesterday was not good either. Okay. So Goldschmidt got the start. Goldschmidt's batting 200, but he's not an everyday guy. Rice has been the best they've got right now. He's batting 342 with a 1.2 OPS. Rosario's another guy with a 1. OPS right now, batting 300. Stanton's doing well, fairly well, 326. But Bellinger, 222. Judge, 224. Judge is the one that's also gotten off to a really slow start. I think sometimes we hold Judge to too high of a bar sometimes. Like, again, it's early. I'm going to say that I don't know how many times. But, like, he's 11 for 49, which, when Judge puts up numbers that Judge puts up, you kind of stop and you're like, we want more out of him. But, like, let the man cook, let him get into it. 3 home runs for Judge. He's got a 738 OPS. I attribute his OPS because Judge is going to walk a lot. So he's going to get on base. So I'm not really going to count that. But Judge off to a slow start. Bellinger, I kind of think Bellinger is kind of just doing what Bellinger does. He's 10 for 45 right now, batting 222. He's a career 260 hitter. So we'll see him go up. But I assume he's going to hover around, the 230 to 250 range. That's what he does. Stanton's doing good. Rosario's playing well. Chisholm is also another guy who's not hitting the ball well. He's 8 for 47, 170. Need more out of him for sure. The thing with Jazz is that Jazz can be, if Jazz can play, Jazz sometimes, I'm not taking a shot at Jazz Chisholm, but if Jazz Chisholm just played the baseball that everyone who watches baseball knows that Jazz Chisholm is a base hit, doubles kind of guy. Jazz wants to be a home run hitter. He swings like last year. We saw him swing way too many times for the fences, and it destroyed his batting average. If he's a bat-to-ball guy, gets on base, steals bags, you'd rather have that than him hit 25 to 30 jacks and bat below 200 or right at 200. So if he can figure that out, there's more value there. I don't know why he keeps trying to do what he's doing, but and then Grichuk, the Yankees for the last couple years have been this team that wants to find these, I'm assuming, diamonds in the rough, with the Jose Caballero and the Randall Grichuk. Randall Grichuk does not need to be playing. I don't care who you are. I don't care. He was a late minor league deal guy who did okay and maybe circumstantial made the lineup, but he's batting 0. Literally batting 0 over Grisham. And again, I'm not saying Grisham's been, knocking the cover off the ball, but Grisham 100% needs to be in the lineup over Randall Grichuk. I cannot wrap my head around that. Cannot wrap my head around that. That's just ridiculous. And then Austin Wells, who I thought hit the ball fairly well in the World Baseball Classic. Oh no, the Cubs just shut down their leg, and the Pirates have taken the lead. We got to talk about the Pirates. We got to talk about the Pirates. We got to talk about the Pirates later. Got some juice on that end. But Austin Wells, who I thought hit the ball decently well in the World Baseball Classic, has been 5 for 33. So not good there either. 5 for 33 is not good. So there's just a lot, and obviously a lot of holes in this lineup, as you can tell. I mean, a lot of holes. A lot of guys who are just not hitting the ball well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we'll say 5 if we count Grichuk. Guys batting below 200. And if anyone batting above 220, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't really want to count Rosario because he's had limited at bats. He's only had 20 at bats. So, we'll see how those numbers even out if he continues to play. But this is a problem. It's a problem. But again, we're seeing a lot of teams start off really slow. So it's not really like uncommon necessarily. It just seems that a lot of teams are starting off really slow this year. And for whatever reason, that seems to be the consensus on a lot of big teams. And we're going to talk about that later. But the pitching issues. So Ryan Weathers has struggled. I think he pitched really well, actually, on Thursday against the Athletics. He pitched pretty good. But for the last couple starts that he's had have not been good either. I mean, he's not made it past the 5th. But Weathers threw 8 innings, which was really impressive. 7 hits, 1 run ball, 7 strikeouts. So that's who the Yankees thought they were getting from the Marlins, right? That's who maybe he settled in, hoping and praying that Ryan Weathers settled in after that start, because that's what you need every 5th day for them. But what we have to talk about again is Luis Gil, because Luis Gil made his season debut yesterday, and it wasn't good. I mean, I was trying to find a way to describe it. It just wasn't good. Let's see if we can find it here. Luis Gil, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks. I watched it. My thing was this: he looked like he was struggling with release point on like all of his pitches. He would throw a changeup really good, and then he would chunk a fastball at 98 and drill a left-handed hitter in the foot. And you're like, why are you yanking fastballs? Slider was yanking sliders, yanking fastballs, missing bad with the fastball up. And it's like, man, like, and I get it. Like, if you know Luis Gil, he's not a guy who's going to pinpoint dot. He's going to throw off the changeup and then gas you with a high fastball or an outside fastball to kind of change the way that you're seeing the plate. I get it. He's not going to be the guy that's going to dot, but you got to throw strikes. You got to be around or in the zone. I mean, it was just, he was very all over the place. Again, first start, so give him a little grace, but the Yankees needed more, because the fact that he left after 4, they dig into their bullpen again. They used 4 guys out of the bullpen, man. Like, can't do that every night. The Yankees have been using a lot of their bullpen, and the bullpen is going to continue to get taxed, and we're not even a month in. If Max Fried throws every 5 days and gives the bullpen a small break, that's cool. But when everyone else throws, like Warren and Weathers, who luckily Weathers did ate some innings for them on Thursday, I feel like I've seen Duvall too many times. Luckily, they didn't throw. Let's look at some of these innings real quick. Hold on, I want to see this. Let me the pitching stats. So if it's not Schlittler and it's not Fried, a lot of these guys aren't going deep into games. Like, Hedrick's already got 7 innings. Jake Bird's got 6 innings. Bednar's got 6 innings. Cruz got 4 innings. Duvall's got 5 innings. Like, a lot of innings being eaten by this bullpen, and it is way too early. It is way too early. So they're going to need more out of Warren, and they're going to need more out of Weathers. Because if they get more out of Warren and Weathers, and then you get obviously Rodon back, you get Cole back, it'll really even out this bullpen. I think they'll be in a lot better position. But there's been too many situations this early where, Weathers not making it very deep into a game. Will Warren not making it very deep into a game. So, work with it, right? You're going to work with it. It's only going to get better. Today they got Fried going, so hopefully that holds them off again. They're playing the Rays. 1 through 6 is solid. They should be able to get through 7, 8, 9 pretty easily, and then work it back. But yeah, that's the Yankees offense has been really, really slow. It's really all I can say. It's concerning. It's concerning. But again, I guess we'll use the crutch. It's early. We'll use the crutch. It's early. But hopefully they can bounce back and get some stuff rolling. Thing with the Yankees, man, they're gonna swing for the fences over and over and over again because of the Yankees. But sometimes you just got to put bat to ball. And the funny thing is, like, and I get it, easier said than done. I'm not in there. I'm not saying that I could do any better, but like the way they beat the Giants opening night was just death, just by 1,000 paper cuts, just hit, 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 no bombs, just hit, double, single, hit, just win games that way. It wins ball games, man. And then occasionally the big man will run into one, and that's how you win ball games. So hopefully the Yankees can figure it out. Again, they play here in about 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to put that on here in a little bit, but again, we'll see what goes on. Honestly, I can't say it as a Yankee fan myself. Like, Rodon and Cole cannot come fast enough. Oh, man. We'll see how that goes. Next on the list, moving on. Dude, I swear, before we're about to talk about the Pirates. We're going to talk about the Pirates. I'm watching right now the Cubs and the Pirates. The Cubs have also not played well at all. We're not going to talk about them because I don't really have much to say about them because I haven't watched too many of their games enough to give an opinion. Normally, I like to at least dig into a team if I'm going to talk about them. But I've been watching this game all day. What the hell? Like, okay, so for context, Ramirez gets a ball hit back to him, checks the runner, and then launches a ball up the line from the mound to first base. What the hell? Just when I want to be like, the Pirates good, they do something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, hold on real quick. Let's pull up my page that I had. Prairies. Yeah, the prairies. All right. Oh, we got people live talking about this game. Yeah, it's not good. So, if you didn't know, which I'm pretty sure if you follow baseball, you know everyone's talking about this. Connor Griffin obviously made his debut for the home opener for the Pirates last week. Then ended up signing an extension for $140 million for 9 years, which is good for him. I think it's great for Pirates fans, especially considering that they haven't done anything. I mean, in quite some time. I think it fits the mold really good for them. But there was drama. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So the media comes and they're talking to Paul Skeens, which Paul Skeens has been a hot topic the last couple of years, and how long he will be in Pittsburgh. So the news breaks that Connor Griffin's going to sign the extension, the $140 million extension. He's going to be a Pirate for quite some time. And they're like, "What do you think about the extension?" And they ask Paul Skeens, and Paul Skeens goes, "Well, that's good for him. We're excited. It's awesome, and he's going to be the face of the franchise for a long time." And everyone kind of was like, "Oh yeah," but then you kind of stop and you're like, "Hold on, whoa. Aren't you the face of the Pirates right now? Why are you saying that he's going to be the face of the Pirates?" And again, I think that this can be construed two different ways. I truly do. I think this can be taken two different. Oh, hold on. Ooh, okay, good play. I think we can see this as two different ways, and I think that the media loves to run with it because they love the drama. Obviously, it's the media. They're going to overplay everything. It's just the way that they operate. Okay. So we can see it two different ways. Now, we can see it one way where he's playing the humble card, saying, yeah, he's going to be the face of the franchise for a long time. And it can mean nothing by it. He could just mean, yeah, he's the face of the franchise. He signed the extension. I haven't signed an extension. He's the guy, right? He's the guy. I am so sure. Now, I'm so thirsty today. I'm so sure that the talks have been had about Paul Skeens signing some sort of extension with the Pirates. He's been there for now 2.5, almost 3 years, I think. I think he made his debut in 24, maybe 23, 24. No, he got drafted in 23. So he made his debut in 24, played all 25. Yeah, so he's been there for about 2 years. Obviously have not been great years by any means for the Pirates. And there's been a lot of controversy on whether or not the Pirates should be able to retain someone with the skill level of Paul Skeens when they clearly have not made any real moves or hadn't at that point made any real moves to try to win for him or win with him. That was all over the place, and everyone really knew about that. So again, you can sit there and say like maybe he's just saying that because he's playing the humble card, and he's just like, yeah, he's the guy. They signed him to the extension. He's a great player. He's drawing all the headlines. He's going to be the face of the franchise. You can see it like that. That's one way to see it. The second way to see it is I don't want to be here. I'm not trying to sign an extension here. He can have it. He can have it as much as he wants. I don't want to be the face of the franchise. I'm here to pitch. And the minute that my 5 years is done here, I'm signing a fat contract and I'm getting the F out of Pittsburgh. So people are seeing it the second way. A lot of people are seeing it the second way. And it's hard to not, right? It's hard to not see it that way. I'm going to be honest. I personally, when I saw the interview and I read the quotes and I read everything, I'm like, that boy does not want to be in Pittsburgh. And it's blatantly obvious, right? You saw the caliber of player that he is, the work ethic that he has, everything about it is like you can see Paul Skeens playing. Dear God, I hope not in a Dodgers uniform, but you can see him playing in a Yankee uniform. You can see him playing in maybe even a Mets uniform. You can see him playing in a bigger market team. And it's hard not to think about it. You saw him don the USA and pitch in like the biggest game he's played now, and he's pitched in the big leagues now for 2 years, and he pitched in the USA versus the Dominican Republic game in the World Baseball Classic, and that game felt so awesome. It was a massive game, right? And you can see he fits those moments. He fits those big, massive tensions are high. Everything's riding on this game, and you hand the ball to Paul Skeens, and he is built for those kind of moments, and he doesn't get those moments in Pittsburgh. And he knows that. I mean, he's not an idiot. He knows that he could pitch like he did last year to a Cy Young winning year, and none of his games meant anything. Nothing. There's no tension. There's no real stakes on any game because the Pirates were never in contention for anything. And that alone is sucks. And this is one thing that I've said to a lot of people, and this is not necessarily on Paul Skeens, and again, this may be a little bit off topic. I hear you, but I've said this for a long time, right? So a lot of these guys, and maybe this is just me. I'm not a huge like money eater kind of guy. I've never quite understood when guys are like, when you make millions, I get it. You never want to leave money on the table, but like, what is it to sign for, let's say, like, who's somebody that's signed to a team for nothing? It's hard for me to say because, again, I'm not a hater of the Mets, but when Juan Soto signed that massive contract, I was kind of like, all that money for what? You didn't even make the playoffs last year. Are the Mets ever really going to win? Are they really going to ever make it past the Dodgers to get to a World Series? There's a lot of questions that I had, right? What is it to sign for all this money and never win? I feel like for me, if you put me in that situation, and let's say I had the golden arm that Paul Skeens had, and I was looking at all this money, and they were like, "Hey, Elijah, the Rockies are willing to pay you 9 years, $400 million. Would you take it, or would you take a 2-year to the Yankees? Or would you take a 2-year to the Phillies? Would you take a 2-year to the Padres? Somewhere where they could, they're going to compete, and there's going to be a chance that you're going to play in some bigger games. It's no question. Give me the 30, 40 million, and I'm going to go, I want to win. Because making, 400 plus million and then losing 60 games a year and continuously coming out of games with no decisions is just annoying as shit. That's just me. So I can only feel Paul Skeens in his what he's going through right now, to go out there and to pitch your ass off and just, at least the last couple of years, continue to lose ball game after ball game after ball game, or leave a game and the bullpen blows it, and just over and over and over. I can understand why they're like, "Hey, Paul Skeens, we want to extend you," and he's like, "Still, I mean, maybe this year's a little different. We're going to talk about that, but I can't see Paul Skeens being the kind of guy who's like, okay, if you're going to extend me 140 million for 8 years." I don't want it because I want to go win. I want to go play for a team that's going to try to compete, not for you who's just going to throw out whoever the hell you're going to throw out there for me while I pitch. But with that being said, you can interpret however you want to interpret that whole situation, that conversation, right? You can interpret it the first way, which is, I'm just being humble. he's the guy right now. It's his moment. I'm going to let him have it. Or you can see it the other way where he was like, yeah, he's going to be the face. It's not going to be me. I want out of Pittsburgh. Take it how you want it, I guess is the best way to say it. But here's my next, I have a second bullet under this Pirates thing. Are the Pirates good? Because they just won in extras against the Cubs. And they just pulled up Connor Griffin, and they went ahead and made quite a few acquisitions over the offseason, and they were even putting in some bids on Kyle Schwarber and some big prospects. So are the Pirates changing the way that they're going to be running the game? I don't know. They look damn good so far this year. Now that first, damn good is subjective, right? Because they're still playing Pirates baseball to a certain extent. I mean, I saw some stuff right now, literally while we're recording, that was a little bothersome. But let's see. So when did they open their season? Opening day was pretty sure the Pirates opened against the Mets, no? Right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, they played on 26. So they lost to they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. They lost to the Reds. So they took 2 out of 3 from the Reds. They swept the Orioles. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Padres. They've now won 2 against the Cubs. They've been playing better ball. And it's kind of like, again, it's kind of almost like you look at it kind of through like through rose-colored glasses, right? Because you're like, okay, they've been ass the last 10 years. So them winning ball games, even if they've lost quite a few series, they look a lot better. What's the Pirates record? I got to look this up first, because the shitty thing is that I can't necessarily look it up when I'm looking at their record, so at their schedule. So the Pirates right now, with their win over the Cubs, who the Cubs are in last place, they're 6-7. The Pirates are 8-5, and they're sitting in second place. They're even with the Brewers right now in the NL Central. Impressive for the Pirates, man. Impressive for the Pirates. That's crazy. Honestly, I'm impressed. But let's look at some of these stats, right? So hitting wise, I'm the first person to I ripped apart O'Neal Cruz after that home opener. His defense honestly is bad. I mean, we can't sugarcoat it. It's been better since that home opener when he absolutely screwed over Paul Skeens. But O'Neal Cruz is now 19 for 55, batting .345 with a 1-dot season. In my eyes, O'Neal Cruz, you have been redeemed. You are smashing the ball. Brandon Lowe is batting .222, not bad. Ryan O'Hearn batting .319. Brian Reynolds .259. Who else we got here? Nick Gonzalez. I don't know any of these guys. Marcell Ozuna has not yet to get going, but Marcell Ozuna is a guy who's got history. He's going to get going at some point. Mangum .207. Spencer Horwitz .235. Nick Gonzalez .267. These guys are going to get going, and they're hitting the ball really well. Top 5 hitters, top 6 guys. Brandon Lowe, Brian Reynolds, Ryan O'Hearn, Nick Gonzalez, and O'Neal Cruz. That's a pretty decent split. Or real quick, let's see where the Pirates at. So the Pirates. Oh shit! Sorry, that was dated. The Pirates are now in first place. The Pirates, with their win today over the Cubs, are 9-5 and are in first place, while the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers are half a game back. The Pirates are in first place. Wow, I'm shocked. So it really does beg the question: are the Pirates good? Are the Pirates good? They sure have a decent defense with Connor Griffin, Ryan O'Hearn. Excuse me. They've got a decent if O'Neal Cruz can play right, they have a decent outfield in O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds. The Pirates might be good. The Pirates might be good, bro. I don't know. I am shook right now that they are literally in first place. Shook. Incredible. Insane. Anyway, I just thought that you have to bring it up. You have to talk about it. And right now, crazy enough, I have to admit, and I've watched a few Pirates games. I've at least watched all of Skeens' starts. I love to watch Paul Skeens pitch. So normally, if I know it's Skeens' day, I'm watching the Pirates. They're good. I can't even argue with it. I can't argue with it. All right, so we'll move on. Take what you will, that the Pirates are literally in first place as of today, April 11th. The Pirates are in first place. Will this age well in a month? I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay. All right, so this is actually a couple days old. I saw it a couple days ago, and I haven't talked about it, but I have feelings about it, so we're going to talk about it now. So if y'all don't remember, if you watch, a lot of people watch the World Series. If you're listening to this podcast, you watch the World Series because you like baseball. There was some drama between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, and when it came to Ohtani and his amount of time when he comes off the mound to go hit. They thought, why does he get extra time? And partially, I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't. So he didn't go out there till there was less than a minute on the 2-minute between innings timer. And then he got a little bit extra time to warm up and get ready because he led off the inning. He was on the bases and he came in and they were mad about that in the World Series, and they're mad. And then George Springer got mad about it again just the other day. Now, granted, I think the Blue Jays are a little bit frustrated. I think that they're kind of going through it a little bit. And if you didn't know, the Blue Jays have not started the year off great. They are 6-8. So they're about 2.5 games back already. So they've dug a little bit of a hole. Not good for the Blue Jays. We're going to talk about them here in a minute. When it comes to who's the time to panic. Honestly, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. They've had beef, and it's been subtle. The John Schneider comments during the postseason about, we'll give us our stuff back if you're not going to play. You made that comment. I have a very love-hate thing going with John Schneider. I think he's a great manager, but I think his antics sometimes get in the way of things. I think he is. Again, I don't know the man. I don't know him. Just vibes are off with John Schneider. I don't know. He's obviously a great manager. A lot of people speak highly of him. There's just something. I just can't. And then this whole thing with him arguing over Ohtani. Listen, if you had a pitcher who also hit, you'd want him to have a little bit of extra time before he goes out there to pitch, to catch his breath and to go out there and actually be able to perform to his fullest extent and to the best of his ability, right? So you're going to give him a little bit extra time. It's fine. We're in a position now where this has never been done before. Obviously, this happened. He played with the Angels for a couple years and then went over to the Dodgers, and he didn't pitch, I think, the first year with the Dodgers or something like that because he had the arm injury. And now he's playing in postseason games, and it's a different game. It's a different moment. His talents and everything that he does as a hitter and a pitcher is now put on a much bigger stage where, no one's really been there before, right? We've never been here, and we've never done this. So I think that there needs to be a little bit of a time to acclimate to somebody like this, and maybe we'll get someone else to do something like this. You never know, right? But I think that the Blue Jays are being petty, and I don't know if they're being petty because they've just had a real shit start to the season, but I don't know. I think that it's very petty that they're doing this, and I think it's kind of ridiculous. Treat him like any other pitcher, but he's not like any other pitcher. That's the thing. That's their main quote. If you're on the other side and you're trying to rush him as much as possible and treat him like any other pitcher, but he's not. He's not like any other pitcher, and that's like the biggest thing that they've yet to figure out is that Ohtani is not like any other pitcher. No one else in the league is doing this. I think they're being dramatic. That's just me, though. That's just me. I think they're being dramatic. Now, some cool news. Some cool news. Jesus. Some cool news. And I'm hope the Mets play today, right? They have to play today. Some Mets news. Oh, they're already playing right now. Damn. I don't know if I've missed it yet, but the Mets have officially, as of this morning, called up Craig Kimbrel, who has bounced around the last couple of years. Basically, if you're listening to this, you know who Craig Kimbrel is. He is, absolute stud. He's 37. Been pitching since 2010. He had a legendary career with the Braves. Then he went to San Diego. Then he went to Boston. Then he went to the Cubs. Then he went to the White Sox. Then he went to the Dodgers, to Philly, to Baltimore, back to Atlanta, then to Houston, and now with the Mets, who's obviously, when I say he bounced around, he really got around. He played for so many different people in the span of like 6 years. I didn't do 6-7. I wasn't going to do 6-7. That's why I said 7-6. But he bounced around quite a bit. And now he signed a late minor league deal with the Mets. And as of this morning has been called up, meaning that he is now available for the Mets. Am I surprised? Gosh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not surprised. I watched the Mets play whenever Nolan McLean pitched last. Another pitcher that I love to watch pitch, who was electric the other day. When did he pitch? Because that's kind of the basis of what I'm saying here. It was the Diamondbacks, so that was on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So Nolan McLean goes out there and throws a phenomenal game. Goes at least into the sixth. That was the rematch between Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Nolan McLean, which was the final of the World Baseball Classic. That was the final pitching matchup. McLean throws great. Erod throws great. The minute that McLean leaves the game, all hell breaks loose because yes, the Mets bullpen is not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Like, who'd they throw out there? Weaver, Garcia sucked. Weaver and Garcia are the ones that blew the game. Luke Weaver, two hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Garcia, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned. And a walk. That was listen, I'm a Yankee fan all the way down, all the way through. And I just, I'm gonna say this. How am I gonna say this without sounding like a total jerk? When they went and got Luke Weaver, like, have they even thrown Devin Williams? I've heard nothing if they've even thrown Devin Williams, but I'm gonna look that up in a minute. Luke Weaver hasn't been great since the 2024 season for the Yankees, and even towards the end of the 2024 season, he wasn't good. And then last year for the Yankees, he was not good either, dude. He was not good either. So, and again, Luke Weaver's been one of those guys where he is very much he was kind of a weird find. He had been a starter throughout the league and bounced around teams and wasn't necessarily dominant. He struggled quite a bit, and then the Yankees got him on a great deal, and then he just found it for 2 years in 2023 and 2024, and he was great. I'm sorry, not 23, 24. He was great. Then 25, it wasn't good, but in 24 he was really good. He was real good in 24. In 25, the league caught on to him, or he, whatever, wasn't good. Yankees didn't get him, and then the Mets went and got him, and then they also went and got Devin Williams, who also wasn't good for the Yankees either. And then looking at the rest of the bullpen for the Mets is not good either. So that's been their glaring hole. They went out and got a lot of guys. They didn't re-sign Diaz. They didn't get Alonso. They went and got Bichette. They got Polanco. They got traded Nimmo for Simeon. I don't understand that at all. Simeon's on the end of his career, and Nimmo's hitting about 300 for the Rangers right now, so that one didn't age well. But the thing that they didn't address was the bullpen. I didn't think that you lose Edwin Diaz. That's a big piece. That is a huge piece. And to think that you're gonna be able to, I guess, recoup or supplement him with Weaver, Garcia, and Williams, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, that's not the same. It's nowhere near going to give you the same results, and it's not. It hasn't. They've blown quite a few saves, and yeah, I don't know. And again, after the display that I saw on Thursday, and the few others that I've seen over the last couple of weeks, it was pretty evident that they're going to start making some changes to that bullpen because it's just not. It ain't working. It ain't working. And Kimbrel is probably going to be one of those guys who is a hit or miss guy. He's definitely not who he was back in the 2010s. 2010 to 2015, 16. He's not that guy. He's also another one that struggled. That's why he's obviously been bouncing around all over the place. But we'll see what he's got. I'm excited. I think this is a really cool underdog story, man. Like, he's been bounced around. It'll be interesting to see what he really is able to contribute. I'm excited to see it. So Devin Williams has thrown 5 innings, 2 walks, no runs. So hey, Devin Williams has pitched well, but not a lot. Surprisingly, they haven't used him much. Okay, he threw on the 7th. He hasn't thrown since Wednesday. Interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. So Craig Kimbrel is going to make his debut hopefully soon. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to use him. They're not going to call him up and not use him. So that'll be exciting. But yes, Craig Kimbrel is now a Met. He has signed a minor league deal and has been called up. So we'll see how that goes. Good luck to Craig Kimbrel. So 2 quick points, and then we're going to get to is it time to panic? First on my list, Max Muncy made history yesterday. I watched a little bit of the game. I get blackout, so I can only watch Rangers games when they're in the big inning. If you don't know what the big inning is, it's this thing that MLB Network does where they play all the games happening at once, so I can see it all at once, and that's when I can see blackout games for whatever reason. It lets me see them there, so that's cool. But I was watching a little bit. Kumar Rocker looked like he was throwing the ball decently well, but Muncy had his number, hit a bomb. But Max Muncy is the first player to hit a 5+ runs, 4+ hits, and 3 homers, including a walk-off. So yes, he hit 3 homers yesterday, including a walk-off, which is crazy. So Max Muncy's a sleeper, man. People like he's kind of a weirdo, and he's a bigger, chunkier guy, but he plays a decent third and he smacks the ball, man. He's a dangerous hitter. So that's crazy. 3 home runs and a walk-off. And then the next on my list that's quick and stupid and kind of sums up how the Mariners have been playing this year. So the Mariners unveiled, listen to this. The Mariners unveiled a statue for Ichiro. Obviously, Ichiro's an absolute legend, played a good chunk of his career in Seattle. So they unveil a statue for Ichiro. Unveil it and then immediately break it. I shit you not. They broke the bat on the statue. And it was just so embarrassing. And everyone, of course, rushes to this is just exactly how the Mariners have been playing. This sums up the season so far. And I guess kind of, but I mean, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty stupid. But I found an article actually on CBS Sports, which is pretty interesting, which is why I got this thing where it's like, which teams have the most to worry? And it's kind of been one of those things where like, do they need to hit the panic button? So let's talk. First on the list, do these teams need to panic? Is it time for them to freak out? Do they need to do something? We're going to talk about it. So the Blue Jays have started the year 5-7. Let's see what it says. In and of itself, a 5-7 start to the season isn't really all that bad. It's pretty bad. It's not good. It's not good. Honestly, for the Blue Jays, it's a little different. It's a little different. They've been dealt with a lot of injuries. They're going to miss the catcher, what's his name, Kirk, for a while. Madison Barger's been is going to be on the IL for a little bit. They've had a little bit of issues with pitching wise. They don't have Bieber. They lost Ponce early due to that ACL issue. They don't have Savage, so they've been dealing with a lot of pitching problems. So I don't think necessarily they need to panic. I think that there's been low production from guys that had a great postseason last year, but shouldn't be expected to do what they did last year. Like Ernie Clement was never going to be an all-star hitter; just wasn't going to happen. Dalton Varsho was great in the postseason. He plays a great defense, but another guy you can't expect him to be that guy out there. So I think that there's just been a little bit, and again, you see it from both sides, right? I don't think they need to panic. I don't think there's a need for them to panic just yet. I think if the season continues and there's more injury bugs and we see more and more guys are out and the pitching doesn't recover, then you panic. But right now, I don't think so. I think they're going to be okay. They've just been kind of hit with the injury bug. So the Blue Jays don't need to panic just yet. I think that we're about 2 weeks out. From panic button hit by the Blue Jays. All right. Let's see here. So we got the Red Sox next in line. I hit the panic button last week on the Red Sox. I think it's time to freak out if you're a Red Sox. They have a worst record in baseball. They are 4-9, which I think, 4-9. They have the worst record in baseball at the moment, and they've had that now for about a week. At this point, they were 2-8 and have looked awful in every facet. They really have. The defense has been bad. The hitting's been bad. The pitching's been bad. Ranger Suarez, who was, I expected more out of Ranger Suarez, and I'm not even like really watching a lot of Red Sox games. I was like, what the hell, man? He's not done good. They've scored 2 or fewer runs in 4 of those first 10 games. They've allowed 6 runs in the first 5 of those 10 games. They were outscored by 17 runs. They won their opening day. But they lost 5 games after that. They can't rely on Garrett Crochet to win every game for them. Sonny Gray threw okay the other day, but again, he was dueling off against a rookie. So, it is what it is. They've lost 2/3 of their games. The offense hasn't necessarily picked up. And when Garrett Crochet is not on the mound, you worry that they're not going to win ball games. So is it time to hit the panic button. I'm going to reassess. I know I said last week that it's time to freak out, but I'm going to reassess. I don't think so. I don't think I can reassess. I think I'm still a little worried. I'm very worried. This has been strange. Like, for the Red Sox to be in literally last place, it bothers me. And seeing what I've seen, the bad offense in the outfield, the bad defense from Trevor Story, and the lack of them moving him out of that position and putting him at second and moving someone else at short, bothers me that they're going to stick with this and run it out there. And it's not working. It's not working. So for a team that had so much potential, and that, like, if you watched them last year in the postseason, they were scary. You expect more, and it's just, you're not getting it. It's troublesome. So I'm panicking for the Red Sox. Next on the list here, and I'm kind of weird. Why is Jose Caballero at shortstop? Whatever. Next on my list here is the Tigers. So people keep saying that the Tigers were going to be a really good club. I never necessarily understood why. Yeah, they have Tarek Skubal, but Tarek Skubal hasn't made it past 5 innings in his first 3 starts. So, like, nothing there. Framber Valdez got ripped last week. I watched those. That was horrible. But, like, they have Kevin McGonigal, who's had a great start to his career. But after that, who do they have to where they need to be talked about like they're this team? They also had that scary thing. So they lost Parker Meadows, to a concussion, a broken arm, like stitches on his face, like bad collision. So they lost him in the outfield. I've never been really high on I've never been high on the Tigers. I've just never understood why they've gotten a lot of hype, beside the fact that they have Tarek Skubal. Yes, they have Max Clark, who's going to be exciting when he comes up. But again, another one guy. Like, I don't think that they have enough to warrant this kind of hype. They went from 2-0 to 4-8 fast. I mean, really quick. They got swept by Arizona. They lost 3 straight to Minnesota. The Twins, literally. They lost 3 to the Twins. Tarek Skubal's lost 2 of his 3 starts. Like, I don't know. I've just never understood why they've had so much hype. I've said that for a long time now. I said it at the beginning of the year. I said it when the season started, and I'm saying it now. I don't think that they're as good a team. They're a bat-to-ball team. They're going to put the ball in play, but it's nothing overpowering. It's nothing to where you're like, oh my gosh, the Pirates, like, I'm worried. The Pirates are coming to town, man. It's going to be a tough series. Like, I'm not worried about it. Every time the Pirates come, it's like, just pitch good. You're going to win the game, because they're not going to destroy you with offense. So I don't know. And Tarek Skubal has not been the Tarek Skubal. He's not been that great. And then the Mariners are another team. Like, the Mariners are the last I have on here. Both the Tigers and the Mariners are kind of in the same boat for me. I've never sat here and been like, oh my gosh, the Mariners are another team that's good. Yes, they looked decent in the postseason last year when they had Eugenio Suarez, who's no longer there, and Josh Naylor was playing well, but Josh Naylor's had a terrible start to the year. Cal Raleigh's had a bad start to the year. Julio Rodriguez has had a bad start to the year. But again, if you look at Cal Raleigh's numbers, yes, last year he played great. He hit all those home runs, and it was awesome to see. But before that, he wasn't anything great. And now here we are again, and he's been struggling at the plate again. Will he have a year like that? I don't want to, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know the future, but it ain't looking like it. I don't know. It's hard for me to sit here and look at it. Julio Rodriguez starts off every year really bad, and the team as a whole, if I have this correct, is batting $184 as a whole. That means the entirety. They're looking like the fucking Yankees. I don't even know if the Yankees are actually hitting that bad. I don't think that's true, but $184 with a 301 OPS to start the year is not good. And I know that Julio Rodriguez, I think Austin Wells just hit a jack. Let's go. I know that Julio Rodriguez has a lot of hype, and he's a great defensive player, but I don't see it. I don't see why people are like, he's this offensive powerhouse. He's the 5-tool guy. He's not, man. He's not. And he hasn't been, bro. He hasn't been. So let's look at some stats for the Mariners, because I don't want to be proven wrong, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. Right? Let's see. People are going to be, I got some friends that are Mariners fans, so I'm sure they're going to be upset. All right, let's see. I've never understood it. I've never sat here and been like, oh my gosh, the Mariners are that good. And I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'm not trying to like talk down on the Mariners, but like, I've never seen it. I just haven't seen it, man. I haven't understood it. Let's look at Cal Raleigh. So we'll start with Cal Raleigh. So Cal Raleigh right now is 7 for 52, and he's batting $135. As a career, he's a 224 hitter. 790 OPS. That's not bad. It's not bad. Let's look at averages. So in 2022, he batted 211. In 2023, he batted 232. In 2024, he batted 220. Last year, he batted 247. And now he's batting 135. So I think we may be going back to the mean, maybe. Hopefully, he can come out of it and come and hit balls because, yes, Seattle baseball, it's fun when they're doing well. But how often and how much do we expect that to happen is the real question, right? Because last year in the playoffs, watching them was exciting. They put up a great series against Toronto in that ALCS. It was exciting. It was fun to watch all the way around. It was fun to watch. But how often can you really expect that kind of play from this team? And that's the real question. These numbers are concerning. 220, 230, 211. Will he go up to that 247 and hit 60 jacks? We'll find out. Let's look at Julio Rodriguez, who is apparently crazy. Josh Naylor, though, is a little concerning because Josh Naylor's been good for a long time. He's a career 266 hitter, so that's pretty good. But he's batting $115 and he's 6 for 52. So not good for Josh Naylor, but again, another guy that I'm sure will get going. He's been good. It's not like it's he didn't have a fluke year or anything like that. He's been good. Now Julio, okay, I misspoke. Julio is a career 272 hitter, so that's damn good. That's damn good. But hasn't been the impact, I guess that they need. Maybe they need more. Maybe he can't do it alone, which is obviously true. But he is 8 for 54. I've just seen so many, and I think the thing that I've seen so much of is that it's like when Julio gets right or if Julio can have the year. When you have to keep saying if Julio can have the year or when he gets right, when you have to say that, it feels like that's not good. If you have to be like, well, if he does or when he does, well, when and if we have to say if he does, it's not good. Like there's been guys who have done it and then you expect it. That's my thing. But yeah, Julio hitting 8 for 54 is concerning. But like Julio's numbers are good. Last year he batted 267, which is damn good with 32 jacks. 2024 obviously was an all-star in 2024, 273, 20 jacks, and then 275 in 2023. I think he was an all-star then, obviously 275. Like awesome. And McMahon gets a hit. Look at that. That's all we needed right there, baby. Break out the slump. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. What I will say, and this is how I'll close out the talk on the Mariners and all these teams. When all of them play well, and this is going to sound so stupidly simple and maybe like understated, but when all of those guys are playing well, it's good. And you're going to see a lot of excitement. You're going to see a lot of production, and they're a different team when they're all playing good, right? When they're all playing bad, it's a recipe for disaster, obviously, right? I don't know, man. I know that Josh Naylor will get out of it. I do know that. But will Cal Raleigh have the year? A lot of people, and I'm not the only one, so don't come from me, have said that it was a fluke year. Was it? We'll find out. But like he's so far not done well. He didn't play well in the Baseball Classic, in the WBC, and now he's struggling really bad right now to produce at the plate. And Julio has as well. Julio, I will say, I did find this, and I've talked to Mariners fans. Julio historically starts slow. He starts slow. It's normal. Will he get out of it? I'm sure. His numbers back it up. But the Mariners are 100% going to need all three of those guys if they want to have a year like they did last year and make it as deep as they did. So it'll be interesting. But all the way through, the Jays don't need to panic just yet. They've just been hit with the injury bug. We'll revisit. The Red Sox need to make changes. If they don't make changes, then 100% they need to start slamming the panic button. The Tigers and the Mariners, I've just never thought they were that strong of teams to warrant what they've been getting right now. So especially the Tigers. I think the Mariners have a lot more star power to them, but the Tigers, I don't see it. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. I'm normally talking ball, in the evenings, at least the most. And on TikTok, and then obviously on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you think I'm a dumbass. We'll talk ball. That's what I love to do, man. That's why we do this, right? But again, guys, I appreciate it. We should have another episode out today, Saturday, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. But I will catch you guys in the next episode.